Deafrowe with Deafrowe TV, and I'm back again with another review. And this week we're going to be taking on Troll from 1986. But before I get started on this review, remember to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that notification bell so you can see the other movies and television series that I might be reviewing in the future that are maybe obscure or not so obscure. You never know. And on that note, I will also be reviewing Troll 2 with a couple of buddies from After the Weekend coming up pretty soon. So I will leave a link in the description to their YouTube channel so you can watch our review of Troll 2 coming up fairly soon. So let's get started on Troll 1986, starring Michael Moriarty as Harry Potter Sr., Shelley Hack as Ann Potter, Noah Hathaway as Harry Potter Jr., Jenny Beck as Wendy Ann Potter, Sonny Bono as Peter Dickinson, Phil Fondacaro as Malcolm Mallory, Brad Hall as William Daniels, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, yes, the one from Seinfeld, playing Jeanette Cooper, Gary Sandy playing Barry Tabor, June Lockhart, yes, the mother from Lost in Space, the original series, is playing uh, Eunice St. Clair. Anne Lockhart, which is June Lockhart's daughter, is playing the young Eunice St. Clair. And if you don't, and by the way, Harry Potter Jr., which is played by Noah Hathaway. I keep saying wanting to say Nathan, but it's Noah Hathaway. Is the same actor who played Atreyu in The Never Ending Story, which was only filmed about. I think it was released 2 years before this movie, in Troll from 19. I think yes, 2 years. 1984, I believe, is Never Ending Story. So let's get started on Troll 1986. As you can see here, is getting up to the Potter family is moving into this new apartment. They're moving all their stuff in, and the daughter's kind of not really helping with the moving. She's just playing with her ball or whatever. And yeah, well, I take that back. She helped a little bit, but then goes off and plays with her ball right here. There we go. And when she's playing around, the ball ends up going downstairs to the apartment where the laundry rooms are. So apparently, these apartments don't have their own washer and dryer. It has a washateria in the basement, and her ball goes down into the basement where that is. And as she's down there, something pretty much grabs her. The troll grabs her and kidnaps her and takes her away. And then the troll disguises itself as her. From here on out until later, I will refer to the little girl, Wendy, as Troll because that's who it really is in this movie for the sake of the movie because it's easier for me to just do that than because, like, oh, Troll, Wendy, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to refer to Wendy through most of this movie as Troll. But in this case, it's the Troll King, which is kidnaps her for a reason. You find out what the reason is later. He doesn't transform or do anything to her. He just takes her over to the fairyland and hides her pretty much, and then disguises himself as her, which is what happens right here. He like you can see the shadow of the troll, and then like he transforms himself. Yeah, right here. And then Noah, no, it keeps wanting to say Noah. Harry, I'll just call him Junior for the sake of it because of a long ass name. I know it's Harry Potter, yes, like the witch, but no, I mean like the whatever. Anyway, we're going to call him Junior for this movie while we're doing the review. Anyway, he comes down to try to find his sister. He transforms into the sister. The troll does, and then the troll scares the shit out of Junior. And then they go upstairs to have their rat burgers, which is what the dad, which Senior called you know, the hamburgers that he was fixing to go get. He's going to go, hey, I want to go get some rat burgers, and they're sitting there trying to get Wendy to eat it because Wendy is now the troll, and the troll's never seen a quote unquote rat burger before, and so when the troll starts to eat it, and she's like eating it like she's a damn pig right here, and she's like, more works. She's saying more works because they called it, it's the burger's called the works. Anyway, so she goes flying, the troll goes flying off the handle, making chaos throughout the building, and at one point turning on the fire alarm. And the fire alarm brings out all the other apartment dwellers, one of them being Sonny Bono, which is playing the character of Peter Dickinson right here. And he goes to the links. He's like a wannabe bachelor who you know, likes the ladies of the night, so to speak. And he basically comes out and tells Senior here, like, you have the you're the only people in this building that has the distinction of owning the only children in there. So he's kind of pissed off about what's going on. And then we get to meet Barry, which is played by Gary Sandy here. He's like an army dude, but now insurance is his battleground because he's retired. Then we finally meet Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, which is Jeanette Cooper, and her boyfriend, which is William Daniels, played by Brad Hall, as you can see here. And then we see Eunice, which is played by June Lockhart here. And she's basically talking about, it's like, is anybody going to talk to the guy that, you know, is out there in the fire truck and tell him that it's just a false alarm? Anyway. And then Potter Jr. immediately takes a liking to her because he thinks she knows something that he doesn't. And then like she's making, like, the troll is making a huge racket and everything, and then finally I think the troll finally realizes he's got to pass off as Wendy for a little bit longer before he can just keep going on this rampage, and then finally calms down. And then we're on to the next day here, and we cut to Peter here, and he's, you know, macking out in his apartment. And he just was with the lady of the night here, and basically she decides to leave because he's pretty much a sleazeball in this movie, and that's when the troll takes it upon himself to go up there and pay a visit to Peter, making him the first victim in this apartment. And the troll uses that ring where she transforms into, you know, he takes the mask of Wendy off, and see if I can get a good shot of it. He's like, holy crap, what is that? You know, he looks for the troll and he can't find it. Look, he looks for Wendy, he can't, and then let's see. Yeah. And so the troll finally comes out behind the couch and uses that ring on his finger and like injects it into Peter, and it ends up making him start turning into like some weird troll looking thing, and then it turns him into like a pod of some sort, this big green pod, and then the pod ends up opening up and encasing the whole room in like all this greenery and shit, and then all these little bitty troll creatures and fairies start to come up out of it. And what you find out is like the troll is basically using the transformation of these humans in the apartment to create a portal into the fairyland, and so there's like leakage of the smaller trolls and fairies that are in the room. So you kind of see that a little bit with some of the trolls that, you know, they come out of the shrubbery. Anyway, Harry Potter Jr. is up there with Eunice, talking to her about the things going on in the apartment while she makes her way down while the troll makes its way down back into the Potter residence. Potter Jr. is up there talking to her about what's going on in the apartment and everything. While that's happening, the troll is outside playing in the street where it probably shouldn't. And because it's the troll, it doesn't really know it's not supposed to be out in the street playing with his damn ball, but it is anyway. And of course, it doesn't look like a troll right now. So Malcolm right here saved Wendy from getting hit by a car. In other words, saved the troll from getting hit by a car. I mean, this movie could have been over if he just let the troll get hit. But obviously, the troll is disguised as Wendy, so he saved her. And of course, the troll invites Malcolm to a dinner that night at the Potter's residence. And there's a weird thing that happens right here is the troll is messing around with the Potters and everything. This is when Potter Jr. is going out to the gas station or wherever to go get some milk uh, for Ann Potter, the mother, to make the cake that's going to be made for the friend that's coming over, which is Malcolm. And he bumps into Barry outside the door, and he's like, "Oh, where are you going, champ?" And then he's all right, he goes on, whatever. But that plays out differently later. And for some odd reason, I don't know why they put this in here, but Potter Senior decides to put a record on and jam out in the living room. So there's that. That doesn't really lead to much of anything. He's listening to the original Summertime Blues song. Anyway, moving on. So, yes, the troll, aka Wendy, makes her way into Barry's apartment, knocks on the door, and basically like just comes right on in. As you can see here, he's like, "Hello there," and she just comes right on in. And immediately the troll decides to not waste too much time in this case and starts mess with him right away and transforms into his normal troll self, as you can see here, and starts going in on Barry. Barry shoots the troll, but like this little medallion or whatever, this magic medallion on the troll's chest protects him for some odd reason. This is the Troll King after all. Anyway, so he knocks Barry down and then, of course, injects Barry, and everything like before what happened to Peter happens in Barry's apartment as well. Yeah. And then what happens is, as you can see here, if I can get a better shot of it, yeah, there's some of the trolls coming out in Barry's room when he. See if I can catch the shot right here. Anyway, as Potter Jr. comes back from getting the milk, he hears the noises going on in Barry's apartment. He's trying to get into the Potter's residence, and he can't get him to open up because the dads listen to the freaking music so loud, so they can't hear him banging on the door to try to get in, and he's freaking out. And then, like, oh, there goes the troll, comes out of there, and of course it's disguised as Wendy, which is even a little bit more freakier. And he does something with the ring that makes him like it doesn't inject him. He just like puts like a force field on him or some sort that makes him pass out. And of course, the troll just goes right on in the house instead of waiting for somebody to come get him. Of course, the dad finds him out there in the hallway and puts him in the bed, as you saw there. And he's waking up the next morning. He wakes up for dinner time, and when the mother heard Wendy was bringing a friend for lunch or dinner, whatever, she thought it was going to be like a friend of her same age, but it ends up being a friend from the apartment. Malcolm is in one of the apartments upstairs, and it's like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want milk because she's like, bring it out a glass of milk for Malcolm, not realizing it's a adult And of course, Wendy's a troll, so there is that as well. And the whole time Wendy's talking to Malcolm, she's like, she's saying stuff like, my elven brother and all this stuff, because the troll thinks it's like a person of the same, from the same fantasy land from the fairyland that somehow just is stuck over here in this apartment. Anyway, so as the night goes on, he's just there talking, and the troll likes this Malcolm dude pretty well. And decides that night that Malcolm's going to be one of his friends. And then as they're talking, you can hear the trolls in the other apartment start to sing some weird ass song. So that's when, let's see, right in here, Eunice hears the singing going on. She realizes what's going on. She knows it's trolls, and she needs to do something about it. They're getting riled up for some odd reason. And her the mushroom that you see sitting on the table is actually, like she said, it's Gowan. Gowan is the one that trained her to be a witch. And apparently she turned him into a mushroom with a face, which is kind of odd. So yeah, you can see these trolls are like singing and shit. Anyway, she gets some like type of horn or whatever and blows it to make them shut up. Let's see if I can find this. Here we go. It might be right here. Yeah, she blows that horn and it ends up messing with their head a little bit and it makes them shut up. Anyway, so the next morning, the troll is still messing around with the family a little bit and messing around with Potter Jr. the most because Potter Jr. knows what's something's not right. Like that, he knows that can't be his sister. There's no way because there's like in one part in the kitchen where uh, Wendy just picks him up and throws him across the room with no effort. So finally, Potter Jr. confronts uh, Eunice upstairs. She's like, you know something. You gotta know something. So finally, Eunice is starting to give him a little bit more information. But as they're talking, the troll is making a move. And is making a move on Jeanette now. And the troll gets into Jeanette's room and, of course, injects her as well as they're still talking. And she's still kind of beating around the bush about what everything is. And as he takes more guesses and gets a little bit warmer with his guesses, she finally just gives him all the information and reveals to him, what's really going on. And she basically says, keep a close eye on your sister, aka the troll, because he's going further and doing more harm than anything else. He I don't know how many people he's already gotten in the apartment, so you need to be looking at him closely. And about this time, the the boyfriend of Jeanette comes around and is trying to get in the apartment of Jeanette's apartment, and Malcolm's there with him trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, "Well, I guess she's not home or whatever." Anyway, finally the door opens up and he's able to get in there after Malcolm has already walked away. And he finds himself in like this big wooded area in this weird fairy tale place. And of course, Jeanette is there running around just about naked with nothing but like vines wrapping her up. Anyway, he basically runs into Jeanette and the troll hanging out together, and she's like laughing and carrying on. And yeah, ends up that's the last time you see him, the boyfriend. I don't know what they never show you what happens to the boyfriend, like like what type of transformation happens to him, if anything at all, or if he's just killed outright. You don't know. You just saw Jeanette and the troll there laughing at him, and then they cut to Malcolm now, and now the troll is with Malcolm. And they're having a little bit of conversation, and the troll is feeling sorry for him and decides to, transform him, but as a brother in arms. Anyway, so he ends up transforming Malcolm as well. So at this point, everybody in this apartment is set for Eunice right here, which has this staff in her hand that she's going to use to fight the troll with. And the Potters have been transformed in this apartment. There's nobody left. And now it's up to basically Potter Jr. and Eunice here to take on the troll. So yeah, they're trying to figure out like what's going on with Wendy, and he's watching her like or him like a troll. Then that night, shit starts to get real, and he runs upstairs to get Eunice and tell her everything's going shit now, going to shit. He said the apartments are full, and then finally she tells him the real story. And the story is that the troll used to be a king that she was married to, and but he wanted more to do with the fairyland than he did the real world, and decided, well, he was transformed into a troll for his treachery, amongst other things. And it doesn't say why she's still alive and why she's a witch that has to stick around to fight him, like as if it's a punishment of some sort, or if it's on her own free will that she's doing this. It never says, but she just basically says, "I'm doing this because I have to do this," but she doesn't give a real reason as to, like, is she doing it because she feels bad, or is it part of her punishment for being married to the guy? It doesn't really go on to say too much about that. Kind of leaves that detail out. But then it goes on further, and yeah, he basically, what it is, he wants to rule both worlds simultaneously, and not basically he got greedy and became the troll. Anyway, so about this time, she hands him the spear and tells him, "You need to go down there and take care of business." And about this time, she grabs the other staff as he's leaving, and this is where the transformation happens. Get to it right here. Yeah, she lets her hair down and turns around, and she's younger all of a sudden. Like she used some type of witchcraft to make herself younger so she can take on the fight. And yes, this is actually June Lockhart's daughter, Anne Lockhart, playing the younger version of the character, Eunice St. Clair. It's kind of cool. I mean, it works, I guess. But yes, this is Anne Lockhart, and she made herself younger so she could take on the troll, pretty much. And then she's like, "All right, my love, you had me living in this hell for so long." Like she doesn't like living for this long, or does she just think she has to, or is, like I said, it doesn't really she doesn't really say whether this is a punishment or not. But anyway, she heads on into the room with her staff to take on the troll, and of course the troll gets the upper hand and turns her into like a little tree stump. As Noah, not Noah, as Potter Jr. finds out right here, this ends up being Eunice right here is the little tree stump troll, because her dearly beloved husband, which is the troll, turned her into a little tree stump troll, which, and she tells him, like, get on with it. You got to do your job. You got to save your sister. You got to take all this down. Anyway, As he's trying to save his sister, he finds where his sister is in the fairyland here. And this, this he goes through the portal to find her. Let's see. If I can, yeah. So he finds his sister, and it's like in this weird Sleeping Beauty type looking coffin. Anyway, he uses the spear to open it up and get her out. He gets her out. She wakes up. But the Troll King is not having it. He sends this big ogre looking big ass troll after them to chase them down to get the girl back, because the way Eunice explains it is he needs the little girl as a means of a pathway to both worlds, meaning that as long as he has her over in the fairyland, he has a connection to the real world where he can go back and forth, and the portals will not seal up. So she is very important to the troll because it it allows the troll to gain more power by keeping her there. And the troll obviously doesn't want her hurt or anything because he needs her. But the troll makes a mistake and sends the big ass troll ogre looking thing after both of them. And let's see if I can catch a scene of that first. As you can see here, the apartment is being swamped with the vines and everything that are coming from the other world through the portal. And it's shaking the whole apartment up. Yeah, this big monstrous thing with wings and everything. It come after him, but the problem is, see, he knocks Potter Jr. away, but then it doesn't want to stop. It like doesn't have enough knowledge to know that it ain't supposed to hurt the girl, and so it goes in to hurt the girl. And the troll has no. He has to do something because without the girl, he can't stay in both worlds. So it's actually the troll that ends up stopping everything. He's telling that big ass monster, not the girl, you idiot. So the troll ends up using the actual staff and killing the monster. And by doing that, everything starts to set off, and the lightning and everything. And then that's when Potter Jr. and the real Wendy is able to get away. And of course, because the portal is now closed, everything goes back to normal. Now, here's the thing I don't know. At the very end here, you don't see any of the other characters come back to their original form like the other apartment people go back to their original form. So you don't know whether they survived or not, which is kind of odd. You would think that if everything was closed up and everything got retracted back into that world or whatever, it would everybody would go back to normal, but apparently not. So, right at that moment, the Potters decide to leave. They ain't going back in that apartment or whatever. But let's see if I can catch a little scene here, because as Potter Jr. is headed to the vehicle, catch it here. As Potter Jr. is headed to the vehicle right here, they're trying to escape the apartment building. Uh, yeah, Eunice is right outside telling her, hey, did pretty good in there for a human. Giving Potter Jr. the heads up, he did a good job. But yeah, his family is getting the hell out too. But like I said, it doesn't show you what happened to the other people if they come back. Obviously, she came back to her normal self, her younger self, at that. So I guess we could assume maybe that the others came back or put back to normal or whatever. You don't know. And then the movie kind of leaves on a cliffhanger with the police officers going inside and investigating, and ended up in the laundromat again, and then ended up in the fairy world somehow. And then that's the end of the movie, as you can see here. The troll's using the ring again, gonna transform that police officer. And that was be the end of this movie and the end of my review. So Malcolm, the Phil who played Malcolm also played the troll. That's pretty cool. As you can see there, he pulled double duty. But yeah, on the scale, what I would put this movie at, I would say this movie is up in the. I mean, I have to put it in the rad area on critic lists because it is pretty fun to watch. And I'll be honest, it's a 3-star movie for me. If I had to go out of 5 stars, this would be a 3-star movie for me. It's not the greatest movie in the world. It's not something I watch very often a lot. I've seen this movie multiple times over the years. But yeah, I give it a 3 out of 5 and maybe like a 68% on critic list. Somewhere around there, maybe 70. Find out. The link is in the description below. Check out my critic list score there. And that is me, Deafrowe, out.